Welcome to Off Brand by Cocokind. I'm Priscilla Tsai, Cocokind's founder and CEO, and each week I get into the real, unfiltered side of building a brand alongside our community and creating substantive beauty products. We don't believe in trying to be anyone but ourselves, and we don't think you should either. So come along as we get real and imperfect, go deeper on topics most beauty companies won't, and get a bit off brand. Ready? Okay, let's do it. All right, welcome to Off Brand by Cocokind. I am in Seoul, Korea today, and joined by our first guest. You are our first guest.
Really?
Yeah, we haven't had any guests.
It's special.
It's just literally been me talking and yapping by myself in the corner of my bedroom until now. And I want to introduce a very, very special person to me. This is Valerie. She is my sister.
Woo-hoo.
Can you tell? So I had to do actually a couple days of work in South Korea here, and for actually a project that I can't share quite yet, but my sister lives in Taiwan, and so she decided to just fly here, and we're doing a little bit of a sister weekend before I head back to the States. So welcome.
Thank you. It's been so much fun so far.
So we figured we would do a podcast together talking about, like, I feel like I always talk about you in the sense of, like, when I talk about my journey with acne, you always come up in my story because I talk about how, well, first of all, you would wake me up at like 7 a.m. to cover your back.
Oh my God, you talk about that?
Yeah, that's definitely out there. It's definitely out there. I might have mentioned it on like the podcast.
Oh my God.
Because it's definitely like, I would say that you're 4 years older than me, and I saw you deal with acne first.
Yeah.
And so I knew that it was coming.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do mention the fact that I was in middle school and you would wake me up so freaking like an hour earlier than I needed to wake up.
I literally don't even remember that.
I do. I definitely do.
Gosh.
But you dealt with the same situation.
Oh yeah. It runs in our genes from our dad's side.
Except for our brother, Brendan.
Well, he would get those occasional massive
Yeah, but he never had like cystic hormonal acne.
No,
like that's just you and me.
That's
our specialty that we got from our dad, and then Brendan got mommy skin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He lucked out.
Yeah. So we definitely dealt with that like skin journey together, and that took a huge toll on us mentally.
Yeah.
Right. And I think in different ways. I think for probably both of us.
Yeah.
But we figured today for our podcast, we talk a little bit about that, of course, like our skin journey, but also just about like the beauty standards that we grew up with. Some that are maybe specific to our family, some that are like our skin, but some that might even be like kind of Asian beauty standard related.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. What do you think are like some of the defining characteristics of like the Asian beauty standards that we grew up with? Yeah.
Well, I think in general, appearances, there was a lot of importance on our appearance growing up. Like our mom really emphasized that we had to be presentable. And so, yeah, we spent a lot of time trying to be that. And that was difficult once we had cystic acne. And I think that definitely took a toll on my mental health growing up. I got it when I was a teenager, right? Yeah. Teenager. And I just remember wasting a lot of time. Yeah.
A lot of time.
Trying to cover it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really messes with your mental health and stress and low self-esteem because of that, I think. But actually, I don't know if you know, but I had it worse actually in my late 20s. Did you know that? Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, because at that time, in my late 20s, unbeknownst to me, that's when my Graves' disease began. So the hyperthyroid.
Yeah.
And none of the doctors could figure out what was wrong with me for like a few years, and they never tested my thyroid. And so for a while, it was just kind of like, affecting me. And one of the first things that it showed up as was cystic acne. Like crazy, worse than high school.
Really?
Yeah. Like insane, all over.
Wait, was that when you got married?
Yeah, right.
Because I remember your wedding, which we should talk about.
No. During. Yeah. Right before and after, around that period. And yeah, it was really bad.
Like, what was your first memory of having, like, we would always talk about having bad skin. Actually, like, my little brother, who is 10 years younger than you, 6 years younger than me, he was like a kid, and we always, like, our acne was always such a topic of discussion and like something that was always talked about and in our family, even so much that like our little brother had a song about our acne in Chinese. You don't remember?
No, I don't.
Qing Sen Dong Bong Bong.
Oh yeah.
Like he literally made a Chinese song where it was like Qing Sen Dong, which is acne in Chinese.
Yeah.
Bong Bong. Qing Sen Dong Bong Bong. And he would like, it was just like a fun, playful. He wasn't making fun of us. It was just like a thing.
Yeah. I mean, we grew. It was.
But what was your first memory of having like quote unquote bad skin?
I guess high school and needing to cover it up.
Yeah.
And then the medications were so harsh.
Yeah.
On my skin. Do you remember?
Yeah.
You would feel it tingling.
And it would peel.
And, yes.
Midday.
And red skin.
Yeah.
Red skin.
Flaking midday.
Yeah. And then you put it on at night, the retinoid. And because that was what was the solution at that time.
Yeah.
And so when you're sleeping, it's like burning. And that was the routine, was the medication at night, covering it up in the daytime.
Yeah.
And then, and then not to even mention like when you're playing sports.
Yeah.
And that's like sweating.
Yeah.
And then you just.
And you remember we actually like wouldn't do like, because we had so much back knee too and chest acne that there were times when like I remember it's like we wouldn't even want to like sweat, you know, or like we'd feel like we had to like immediately shower or like, like it's just very uncomfortable with stuff doing activities like that.
But did you find, and I don't know if this was just my experience, but when I was in the sun, it got a little better.
Well, yes, but that's like it. So on one hand, like the sun definitely like dries out your skin, and a lot of people who deal with acne, like you're just dealing with so much oil and sebum production. So it actually like does get better.
Yeah.
But at the same time, and then not only that, like the UV ends up, like that's why I would go tanning,
right?
Because it would like tan and kind of like make my overall skin darker, which would then blend in the acne scars.
Right.
But I still attribute that to a lot of the hyperpigmentation that I have underneath my skin today.
Oh, really?
Because of all the tanning I did. Because it's actually really bad. The UV is so bad for your skin,
for sure.
Right?
For sure.
But yeah, like the sun was definitely like a temporary.
Yeah.
Like we thought it
but
was
like back then, that was like, I was like, oh, well, if my acne's getting better and it covers up the marks, that's another solution. So then we were always in the sun.
Yeah.
I was always in the sun trying to tan.
Yeah.
But then also, in the U.S. standard of beauty, being tan was kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, in my early, high school, early 20s, I was always tan.
Yeah.
Like people look at my photos from.
Yeah. Oh my God, I look unrecognizable.
Totally different.
Yeah. And mommy would be so
tan.
pissed at us because she, like Asian beauty standards very much like the opposite.
Yeah.
And she would be so pissed at us for like burning in like Hawaii. When we went on vacation, we'd always like try to get us.
Or I would go to tanning beds.
Yeah. So same.
Yeah. So
I would have like a tanning card, like literally it's like every day, and I had those goggles.
Yes.
It's like ridiculous.
Yes.
Did you get on birth control ever for acne? Because I did.
Yes, I did in 20s sometime. But then I felt like it also messed up with my hormones.
Yeah.
So I stopped that.
Yeah.
And I haven't ever tried again because I'm just really sensitive.
Same.
To hormonal changes.
Yeah.
Especially after discovering that I had Graves' disease and then having to manage that. I just don't really try. I don't do much.
Yeah.
If I don't need to.
Yeah. And yeah, I remember when you would wake me up in the morning because I think one of my earliest memories of us having bad skin was like shopping for homecoming and prom dresses because we always had to buy high back dresses.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember this?
Yes.
And it's like, I mean, there's not a lot of dresses that are high back.
Yeah.
And that was
insane.
Such a pain.
It was.
That was terrible. Then so self-conscious about it. And then even with high back dresses, you'd still have to cover up a little bit, on neck and back. Totally. And I remember one time I like did it so sloppily for you. And it was like, you could see like, pissed? Yeah, you got really pissed. You could see like my handprint of like makeup because I was just like so tired. I just like slapped it on. And I was like, no, you're right. You're good. You're good. You can't see anything.
I think I had to do it on my wedding too.
No, I remember. Your wedding. Yeah. Do you remember? You were really frustrated. Because
that's when I was doing my thyroid issues.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you were really frustrated with just like the way that the makeup was coming on your skin.
I like wiped it all.
Yeah,
I had to reapply myself. Yeah. So it's just dealing with skin problems was really stressful.
We've always grown up with the pressure to look good. And we'll preface this by saying like we love our mom so much, right? And a lot of this is Asian beauty standards too, but definitely like she always put a lot of pressure on us looking good. Yeah. Even now, like, oh my God, for so many years when I started Cocokind, she would look at my story and she would DM me and go, DM on the Cocokind account, not like Priscilla account. She would reply back on the Cocokind account and she'd go, Prissy, this does not look good.
Well, okay, so that's interesting because in Asian culture, face is really important. And, you know.
But can you explain what you mean by face? Because you don't mean like literally your face, right?
Or, well, I mean, kind of. It's like your appearance.
Your appearance.
The way you present yourself in public.
Yeah.
Right? And so that is a very important thing to maintain. And I didn't realize how important it was until I actually moved to Asia and, you know, experienced some things and pressures of face and societal pressures. And so with the exhibit that I'm going to be doing in March called Through My Eyes, we really dig into that. Yeah. The importance of face and how that actually affects mental health in what we see in today's generation. And I think that we definitely had that pressure. Yeah.
You want to just do like a 2-sentence on what Through My Eyes is?
Yeah. So it is an anonymous art and writing exhibition that we will be launching in Taipei in March.
She created it. Like she literally, you're like built it from scratch.
Thank
like it's
you.
all
Yeah. Well, it really was born from a traumatic adult bullying experience I had a couple years ago and in Taipei. And I really just, I realized that a lot of people had gone through something similar. And I really felt like there needed to be a space where we could talk about these issues, talk about the pressures that we deal with in Taiwan and Asia, perhaps, and honest conversations. And a lot of the issues that people don't talk about it because they worry about judgment. They worry that they will bring shame to their family. Yeah. And all of that is related to face. Yeah. Right. And so the reason why this exhibit is anonymous is so we take that risk away. Absolutely. So that they can feel comfortable to talk about their true struggles. Yeah. And
it's interesting how like you're doing that and it's so like parallel to like the work that I do at Cocokind and like what we have built in this community because it's like we're specifically an anti-aspirational beauty brand. Yeah. Like truly, I personally feel like every beauty brand out there that exists in the industry is like just so aspirational. It's like very much like the social media, the images, and like I don't know, it doesn't mean they're not like modern and cool and like, but it's this age old strategy of just like trying to present something that like looks like something so that consumers want to be more like that. Right. And that I feel like our Cocokind and the community here, it's like it's rooted in a belief system of like we don't want to be that, right? And it all stems from literally our upbringing.
Yeah, and I think because of what we went through, our personalities are just more open and real. Definitely, like I so literally can't fake my emotions. Like when I'm feeling something, you will see it on my face. Same. I just am who I am. And so
we definitely are like a keep it real. We have the keep it real syndrome. Yeah. Where it's like can't turn it off. You know? That gets us into some like I mean
it does, like if I'm struggling with somebody where something everybody will know about it. Yeah.
No, we're very
I'm not trying to hide that.
No. We don't but I feel like for me, I feel like you've always kind of been that way, would you say?
Do you remember? And this is like I don't know if we talked about this. Do you remember when we were in elementary school? So super young. And I don't know, we probably got in a fight with our parents or something. We decided to run away. Yeah. And so
we ran away in our neighborhood. Yes, and by the way, it was because I had $20.
We just like didn't go on the bus.
we missed our bus, hid in a tree.
Yes. And then we're just like walking back in our neighborhood. We're like, what do we do now? We're just like these two little kids walking. And then our neighbor sees us and it's like, oh, did you miss the bus? Let me take you to school. And we're like, okay. So we go to school, have a regular day. And then we get back home. And like me being me, I'm like, Mommy, we try to run away today.
And I'm like, what the hell? Why do you have to tell her that? And we got in so much trouble. And I was like, do you really have to like tell her that we tried to run away? Like, and then we got in so much. I definitely. I remember being like, shut up.
But that has literally been my personality since I was young. Like I can't hide things. I don't lie. Yeah. It's just who I am.
Yeah. It's just who you are. I personally, I definitely evolved. Like I feel like I was like way more conformist. Really until my like mid 20s. Like I always talk about how like I became more comfortable in my skin, not before I started Cocokind. That wasn't like I didn't start Cocokind because I was comfortable in my skin. I started Cocokind and then I became comfortable in my skin because of like Cocokind was like a channel for me. It was like very therapeutic for me. It was very healing for me.
Yes.
And uncomfortable. And like, because you know, for me, even in my like mid 20, like 25, like in New York, or 24 in New York, I wouldn't go downstairs to get my food delivery unless I had makeup on.
Yes. Oh, totally.
Like I wouldn't step outside. And so I was like very uncomfortable with my skin. And when I started to do like Instagram stories and show my skin, like that's when mommy would be like, this doesn't look good.
Yeah.
And it was uncomfortable for me. And it was the first time I started to not be conformist.
Yeah.
And I tried to, you know, that really begun my whole, I'd say like the past like 12 years really of just like trying to be more comfortable, trying to find my voice and encourage others to do so, and like fight against that, like, you know, kind of not only the beauty standards, but just like the idea that you know, you're not enough as you are, you know.
And I really have loved seeing you blossom in that aspect.
Like I feel like you've always been more confident than I was growing up, at least. Like I always had the perception that like you were always way more confident, you know. Like I always admired that, where I never felt that. But also physically, you also got a lot more, like you got a lot more praise physically from mommy than I did. Like you remember, like from like the get-go, it was like, oh, Precy, my mom calls me Precy. Precy has like a round face. Valerie has a small face.
She'll make comments
Precy
like that.
has
So
like, or Valerie had my legs. Priscilla got daddies. Like, you know, there's always like things that like I feel like you had more of that praise than I did. So I always felt really insecure about my body, about my skin. I mean, we both felt that about skin, but like I felt that like just generally, you know?
And because she praised me so much for that, I put so much value on that. And it wasn't until I suffered with that cystic acne in my 20s where I just couldn't even hide it.
Yeah.
And I was in San Francisco, luckily. And there was a time where I just was like, forget it. I'll just walk out, no makeup. And I finally broke free of those like chains of like feeling like I needed to be presentable.
Yeah.
And luckily in San Francisco, I feel like you really can just be, you know.
SF is way more chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
and accepting and laid back. And so I had a conversation with my therapist at that time too, just being really hesitant to go out without makeup.
Yeah.
And then once I did, I got used to it and then was free.
Yeah.
I felt free.
Yeah. I feel like I had a similar journey with like I went into therapy too. Some of it was, you know, because of like the body and, you know, skin insecurities that I had and like me healing with all of that. But yeah, I definitely had like that similar conversation of like, I actually think I like posted about it back then on Instagram, where I'd say like, today I'm going to try to like just go downstairs and like just get a package. You know, and then the next day I'll try to go to the gym. And then the next day I'll try to do this and that. And then it all of a sudden became like a full day, you know, of me. And then I did the same with eyeliner too. Because I always felt like I would just always have a full face. You know, like I just always had a full face.
Totally. Like presentable.
Presentable.
It's all about being presentable.
Totally.
Once I kind of felt free, didn't have to have makeup. That was really nice. And then had kids. I also just, at that point, once you have kids, you just don't care.
Once you have kids, you really don't
just
care.
was like, whatever.
Totally.
But I have to say, moving to Taiwan in Asia, I feel the pressure creeping back up. And I feel the pressure to look more presentable, actually put on makeup when I go outside. And so I feel like it's almost like a regression. There is a lot more pressure, I feel, in Asia because of the whole face thing. And they just value appearances more. I don't know. That's just my experience.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's like, if you're shopping, like we're going to go shopping later today. If you're shopping in Asia, like people, like when you walk in the door, they'll be like, how? Like medium or large, or like, you know, like they'll like literally like say your size. You're just like, what the, like it's so uncomfortable. It's so crazy how like people are so like freely discussing your appearance.
Yeah.
In Asia. Like I don't think that's like a subjective thing. I think it's like pretty objective. Everybody in Asia would tell you, like, it's just like there's just a lot more discussion about appearance. What do you think the line is of like kind of like doing beauty things for yourself versus doing, you know, kind of, I don't know, conforming to beauty standards, right? Like
I think first and foremost, you should always do what makes you feel good. Do whatever makes you happy. But I think it gets dangerous when you're doing it because of other you want other people's opinions of you to be, higher or value you more, or yeah, I think that gets a little bit dangerous. But if it makes you feel good, then do what you want to do.
Yeah, I think that's right. I just think that you can't judge other people's journeys.
Oh yeah, no.
Especially like, I mean, as women, you just deal with so many pressures.
Oh yeah.
And so on one hand, it's like I want people to feel really comfortable in their skin. And I did not feel comfortable in my skin until I was like in my 30s, right?
Yeah.
Truly. On the other hand, I'm also just like, I get it. Like I understand the desire to like to do this and that, because it's like I also believe that we all have the right to want to look our best too, and be confident. Everybody has their own like journey when it comes to physical appearance, and it's so rooted in sometimes heritage and like the way upbringing, and so it's like you can't compare, you can't judge.
I mean, I think with mental health issues skyrocketing in today's generation, it's really important to just do what makes you happy. Block out all that noise. And I think in some ways social media has made it worse.
Terrible.
Seeing all these curated beautiful people. So I love that you keep it real.
We do. Someone literally sent me a DM like a couple weeks ago that I posted to my close friend story. Close friends, like you have in my close friends list is like my rule is that you have to have met me and my husband in real life, so don't be sad if you're not on my close friends list.
Oh wow, that's I'm even worse.
What do you have?
Mine is like, if we're not having conversations, interactions, then you can't see my stories.
I think that's totally fine, because I post like tons of kid photos and stuff.
Exactly.
Like it's like
I'm
very,
so
very
open about my family, my personal life. So
same.
If you're seeing my stories, it's because we have mutual interactions, or like, we like each other's stuff on Instagram, like just things like that. And but if there's no communication whatsoever, like no, you're not seeing my stories. And sometimes I actually, after 6 months, if there's really nothing, then sometimes I just
totally
take them out of my list of friends.
Yeah, totally.
I try to keep it very small.
Yeah, I think that's like good social media boundaries are important. But I posted on my close friend story that somebody, like, I truly don't think it was like a malintent or anything. But she DM'd me basically being like, hey, like, how do you overcome having unevenly sized eyes?
No, it was more like, I love that you're so brave.
Yeah. She's basically like, I look up to you because you're so brave for posting yourself with uneven eyes. And like, how do you do that? Like, to me, it seemed like a genuine, question. Like she was genuinely trying to ask for herself. And like, although some of my friends were like, she's like trolling you. I didn't take it that way.
No.
I thought it was genuine. But I'm like I didn't know that I just assume everybody has uneven eyes. Like I never noticed it, with my content. But, clearly it's a thing. But yeah, with social media, the correlation between like teens and their mental health issues with social media usage, like teens are spending like 3 hours a day on social media. It's crazy, right? Like the expectations that people have for how you should look, how other people should look. Like there's also, I saw a video the other day of like a well-known influencer. She was talking about the fact that like there's been discourse online about how she doesn't look as pretty in real life as she does on the phone.
Oh gosh.
I'm like, how fucked up. It's just like ridiculous. Like stop. It's just
can
ridiculous.
It can get really upsetting.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm not having my kids use phones in general until they're like much older.
Yeah. So, I mean, you really have to be quite mature.
And you have to have a conversation with your children that these are all curated content. It's not real life. And so, like you, on my Instagram, I try to be really real about just everything, like the good and the bad.
Yeah.
And I love that because I think it also allows people to have more connection. I don't really connect with people who curate their life. Like everything's perfect.
Yeah.
At all. Yeah, I really can't.
I connect with people who like are able to be real.
Yeah.
And if everything's perfect in all aspects of life, like, it's just
it's just like that. That's not real.
It's not real.
Everybody's dealing with something.
Right.
So
it's funny how like we're all so conditioned also to be like, when people ask like how you are, you're just like conditioned to automatically be like, good. And then you'll be like, well, and then you kind of get into it. But it's just like everybody in society is just conditioned to kind of just be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look perfect, or look your best all the time.
Right.
And I do think that over the years, I've just become more comfortable being like I'm just more comfortable in my appearance generally, you know, and I feel like I'm like just trying to get back there and like trying to, not all the time, right? Sometimes I feel better than others. But like, it's like, I do feel like you have to actively fight for it because of what you see on social media or the societal pressures or whatever it might be. Like you kind of have to like actively fight to be comfortable in your own skin.
Yeah. And I would say that period of time where I just went out without makeup, you know, had my cystic acne, I no longer relied on my looks.
Yeah.
That's when I realized actually that I have, you know, a personality.
Yeah.
And so like you, with time and with age, I've really had that realization. And, you know, it's not about my look.
Also, it's like, so recently we did a partnership with this organization called the Body Positive, and they teach a really important framework. And part of this framework is like just honoring your like unique heritage, because that's like what, like when you do that, you're able to see your own beauty. You know what I mean? Like to kind of like appreciate that.
Yeah.
And to like, if you really look at everyone you look at has their own beauty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When I think about like what I would teach to my kids, there's so much of that, like of the appreciation of like both sides, the Asian, the Argentinian side of their, you know, unique identity that comes out in their physical appearance.
Oh, for sure.
And honoring that, I think is like kind of like something that was missed for a lot of people, right? Like it's never something I appreciated. In fact, like I had that whole era of like trying to not look as Asian, right? Like to wear colored contacts and like go tanning and this and that, right? Like, I feel like there was just like I tried not to look or be and feel as Asian.
Yeah.
You know?
And but I think it also was influenced by the fact that we grew up in a place where there weren't that many Asians.
I've talked about this before on the podcast of just like the journey of like self-acceptance that I've been on and still on. But I think it all for me like unraveled in like my mid 20s and late 20s, and then was on the recovery side of it in my 30s. Now I do think as a mom, you just have a totally different appreciation for yourself, your physical appearance. Because you also look at your babies and you're like, oh my God, I couldn't imagine something more beautiful.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And so then you're like, I do feel like my perception of beauty has completely changed, and self-acceptance too.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't imagine my kids
having to deal with that.
Yeah.
No, I know. It's, thank goodness we're breaking that cycle.
Yes.
And showing them that there's so many different aspects of beauty inside and out.
Totally.
And to not have to give them that pressure of face and needing to be presentable all the time, and that you have a really awesome personality.
Totally.
And there's so much more to, you know, more to you than just looks.
Totally.
Yeah.
So if and when our daughters have a lot of cystic hormonal acne, what do you think you would like do or say, or
just be supportive?
Yeah.
I think we didn't have that.
It was like I never dealt with that. I had perfect skin.
Yes.
That's what we dealt with. You got to fix it at the dermatologist, and I'm going to buy you Clinique.
Yeah.
And like any random
But a lot of the suffering is mental.
Yeah.
Is mental.
Yeah.
And so, you know, mommy, she got us the medication, and that's what she knew to do. And so that was great.
Totally.
But a lot of it was our mental suffering of dealing with like the insane redness and the bumps and having to cover it up and maybe not covering up and spending so much time on that.
So much time.
And so, yeah, if and when our kids deal with that, I would be there to support them mentally.
Yeah.
Obviously get them the medication they need, but most important is the mental aspect to it.
And I feel like it's a totally different environment these days, thankfully, because like, I mean, think about like acne patches and stuff like that. Like it's become cool for people to show their own
I've
skin.
noticed like stars
cool?
or like little
imagine if we
smiley
had that,
faces.
we would have had like stars all over. Our whole face would have been covered in stars. First of all, but like it's kind of cool these days.
Yes. I love that it's more accepting. I love that. I love that.
But the rise of social media, the rise of filters, there's also been, I do feel like there's like a part of the internet that is like truly trying to be more real.
Yes. I think that there's more awareness of the harms of curating such a perfect image and encouraging people to show their real life.
Yeah.
Which is healthy.
Yeah.
And something that I'm a big proponent of.
If you actively try to find that corner of the internet, you will get there, and it's awesome. Like for me, like I don't follow a lot of aspirational creators or brands or anything like that, like because I just like I'm very conscious of it. Before I would be subconscious and I would like just like follow and absorb and like you don't really understand how it's like affecting you, but then all of a sudden you're like you just realize like you don't feel as good.
Yes.
You know, like a day later,
Oh,
you're
for
like,
sure.
I don't feel good wearing this outfit today or whatever, like very subconscious.
Right.
I'm very conscious about that today.
Yeah.
So that I consciously curate my own feed to make sure it is in line with my personal values
Right.
and how I want to feel about myself.
Right.
And if you try to do that, you can get to I do believe you can get to a healthy corner of the internet of people really trying to be real.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I said, I think that being real, you connect more with people.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about social media is that it really isolates people. And especially when things are curated and you don't connect with that. And so keeping it real, I think you bring people together.
Yeah.
Everybody is dealing with something, and it's nice to know that somebody might have gone through what you are going through.
Yeah.
And to maybe learn from one another.
Yeah.
And that's kind of actually one of the goals of my exhibit Through My Eyes is to bring awareness that you're not alone in whatever you're suffering with or whatever you're dealing with, and that other people might have walked that path as well. And so I think there's beauty in being real and highlighting your struggles so that you can connect and talk about it and release all of that, because I think keeping it in, hiding it, is really detrimental to your mental health, to your physical health.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this has been an amazing conversation. I feel like we talked about a lot of different things. What do you think? So we'll have you back on closer to your exhibition opening.
Yes. March 14th to the 23rd in Taipei,
Yeah.
in Xinyi.
If anybody is in Taiwan here. I feel like our listener base is like mostly in the US.
Well, actually, we will have a virtual gallery.
Okay.
So we'll put all of that
great.
online and that'll be up for anybody in the world to see. So once that's up and ready, all walks of life, different ages from 9 years old to 75. And it really is quite eye-opening. So I'm really excited to launch this gallery for people to walk through, for people to get inspired, to start conversations, and hopefully, eventually bring change.
Yeah. Well, I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
It's truly so amazing and a lot of work that you put into this and passion because you're really passionate about it. And I think the world needs more of you, people who are like trying to start those conversations. Amazing. Well, thanks guys. We are doing shopping. We're doing some skincare today. We're actually doing our CKO clay mask that is back in stock, I think, by the time this comes back out. But we have a whole 2 days in Seoul here. So we'll keep you posted on everything that I experience here in Korea, and we'll chat in 2 weeks.
And you gotta do this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This is obligatory. Like her hand, like you literally, it just like automatically happens. You can't like hold her down. The peace sign just comes up. Amazing.
Bye.
Bye.